Okay, this is the January CNI committee meeting. Steve Miller is present, Ms. Bell, Ms. Leone, our other board members, committee members present. Ms. Albright is going to be arriving later. We have Dr. Cooper and Mr. McKnight and Mr. Hurley here from the administration. And with that, I will hand it off to Mr. McKnight.
Thank you. We have actually a pretty interesting load tonight of topics. Right on top of the technology committee, we have a phase 2 piece of virtual and digital learning platform. So these two pieces dovetail by design in the conversation. Where we are in phase 2, so phase 1 was all of the kind of scrambling we did this past year on virtual learning to get logic, text, and all the things that you know about to make it happen with our team and our staff. And we did a yeoman's effort to make that work. The virtual learning plan is a 3-phase plan. So phase 2 coming online later this summer and into next school year deals with 2 pieces. Part 1 in this phase is how are we going to continue to support our virtual learning model, the BDA, if you will, the Blaze Virtual Academy, and build up a direct learning campaign to draw students back in where the charter school system right now, the district is paying approximately $19,600 per student, sending that money out the door. There are over 100 kids in that model right now. $1.9 million goes out of the district. We have a 3-year plan on how we're trying to market that in this direction. We're working that together to bring students back into the district. Our stated goal is to get 10 students back next year into our BDA model. These are all external students. Simultaneously, the other part B, if you will, is about drawing the training and ramping up our model so we can end partnerships with Edgenuity and these outside vendors. So it's our Daniel Boone teachers delivering our Daniel Boone content in this model. There's some parts that Dr. Cooper and Mr. Hurley are working on with the DEA to get to the right space there on how to format those, bring them up into what appears to now possibly be Blackboard, and have those new courses going forward that way. So by 22-23, the Daniel Boone Virtual Academy will be formally getting teachers getting content grades 5 to 12. That's the model we're looking at. So that kind of gives you a very brief, quick update on where we're heading. The flexibility of Blackboard is very important in what Scott and Tracy, I guess Tracy may have stepped down now, but we're able to show all of us in the presentation was the functionality in the short term supersedes Schoology, but the real power is in the long-term flexibility that this model can grow to serve our students and teachers. So, and if it's $100 less a month, the heartburn is to Ms. Holmes' point to change the training piece. That's going forward, but we think that stages this well. So once we bring on the third phase, it is our goal then to ultimately return 25 of the over 100 students. That's kind of what we think the sweet spot is. We're looking at about 25 of the kids back, all the way from the outside, and of course stop students, who will be trickling out to other districts. So I'll take questions on that piece if you have it right now.
You said the target's 25?
25 over 3 years. 10 next year as well.
Okay. And we have a total
We
of...
replicated this model previously in another district, and that's about what you get.
Okay.
About 9 or 10, 8 to 10 kids you can get, and that kind of drops out.
Okay. And we currently have 100. Is that...
More than 100.
More than 100.
14, I think, something like that.
Okay.
So we have, unfortunately, because there are students, we have to just take them in a placement somewhere else. We have their addresses and contact information. So we do a direct marketing campaign and outreach, invite them in. We'll see how the pandemic piece. We bring them in for a presentation. And I will share with you, I'm just about finished creating the marketing strategy, comparing what it is we offer as a district versus what these other 10 competitors offer. And I think it's just an interesting way. I shared with Dr. Cooper at 2 schools to go yet. You, as a board, will be, you should be proud of yourself. When you see what we offer students and families compared to what outside competitors are offering students and families, it's a slam dunk. And if it's, still students sitting at home, so to speak, using that virtual tool, but having access and availability to all the other things that we do, which is really the sell. They don't have to use it, but they can have it. We believe we're going to get that. Second piece that I just wanted to, I mentioned last meeting, and I would like to green light, if you would green light the summer academic intentions program for this summer. We ran that last summer, if you recall, in the middle of the pandemic to help support students and families. And Mr. Hurley can weigh in on some grant opportunities here for us, but it's about a $50,000 price tag. We originally projected $100,000 last year. We came in under $50,000 in the summer. In talking with Mrs. Mikowski, we kind of continue to tweak and edit this model. One of the beliefs that she has is this is can be our compensatory ed model. There are going to be compensatory education claims coming forward out of this pandemic. Most of us believe that. And so as we go into the summer, we have this model that's built in to provide that service point for students and families. But it's also good. It's just a good program. I mean, we had 600 kids in there last year, K-12. We tracked hard this year on the elementary students. And in talking with Mrs. Hefner specifically, the numbers and the results that are returned on students who went to that program, their reading and math loss was minimized substantially compared to years before when we didn't have a program. So, kudos to the folks who ran and taught that. It was very positive. So, questions on the summer program? This is not a summer school remediation program. Let's be clear. It's an enrichment and not a continuation of gaps in information that students may have missed due to lost time in the classroom. Okay, we have with us, we've talked about middle school world language many times, and we have come up with a different model of that, and Mr. Towers, our assistant principal of middle schools here with Ms. Gretschko to give you just an updated information on the program.
Good morning or good evening. Thank you very much for having us here. I wanted to take a few minutes to just give you an update on what we're doing here at the middle school when it comes to the world language piece. One of the most exciting things about the opportunity that the 8th graders have had in middle school is the number of languages that they've been able to experience. You can see it's much broader than our normal Spanish, French, and German that a school might offer. So they're really being able to expand into a lot of different areas. Just to give you an idea, we use what's called Mango languages. Our students are encouraged to work during their IHT time, which is our basically middle school study hall, but it really is completely independently run. They work on it at their own pace. We did have to set a work requirement for a week. We went with 90 minutes. We found out that for some of the kids that was a little bit too much for them with everything else that they had going for an independent activity. We do get support from Mrs. Sanderson. She's our digital coordinator. She's able to interact with the students. She has her class list in Schoology. And she also uses her space in the library. If they have time during their IHT or another period of the day, they can come and use that workspace.
Can you hear me?
Currently, we are only offering it to our 8th grade students. But next year, we would like to offer it as an additional opportunity for our 7th grade gifted students, just to expand that out a little bit more. One of the advantages is it would be able to give them a couple of years in the middle school to be able to work with that same program and that same experience. One of the things we were also able to do was, after we let the students work it for a while, once it was introduced towards the beginning of the year, we surveyed them to find out their feelings about it and how it was going for them. And we have some really nice results. Almost 90% are either very satisfied or satisfied with what they were doing with the progress. And we can see that 90% either sometimes or yes, enjoy learning through it. So I think it's interesting knowing 8th graders, for them to say that they enjoy doing something all the time is remarkable. So to get 90% either sometimes or a yes, we thought was a really nice result moving forward with it. We also found that what was interesting was, if we go back again quickly and see, so we had almost 90% say they were satisfied, and 90% enjoyed doing it. But then if we look at this next piece of data here, only 53% said it was easy to use. So I thought that was nice. It showed some of the resiliency that we have with some of the students who are working with this. It may not be the easiest, sometimes easy, sometimes hard, but they're still finding it enjoyable to work with that language. So that was a nice little addition that we were able to see there. Now what was interesting is also Of those ones that enjoy doing it, we do have 50%, almost 50% saying that if given the option, they would continue with that manual next year. With about 20% saying no, that they would not. We would be able, it would be nice to dig a little bit deeper into this to find out, with them being 8th graders, would they, moving up to the high school, are they planning to take a more traditional language in a classroom setting? So there might be some other factors that impact that, which is also something that would be nice, again, moving it forward with the 7th grade. We were able to dig a little deeper with some more responses, kind of short answer responses of exactly how they felt about the language and the programs they were using. For the most part, they were very positive. Other than the 90 minutes, some of them were saying, oh, it's kind of difficult to get used to this independent study type of thing, so they would forget about it. But what we did find was very interesting was looking at how they learn. So they really thought, some of them were saying, for example, learning the Russian language. It's very conversational based as they teach this program. And one of them said it was very difficult with it, nice to really get introduced to the alphabet first. Because in the Russian language, the P makes an R sound. And they didn't realize at first that. And so once they figured that out, it made it a little bit easier. One of them even said, I had to Google it to find out the alphabet. So we see the kids even going a step further. Again, I think that speaks to some of the resilience of our kids, resiliency of our kids, and also their ability to really go that step further. So overall, we've been very happy with how it's worked so far for not only a first year of implementation again, but implementation in the environment in which we are implementing it. But hopefully, again, moving forward to be able to expand it a little bit, make the opportunities a little bit more open for some of our students, and continue to enhance what we've been doing now. Any questions?
Yeah. Was the program available to any 8th grader?
For right now, we're letting the grader that was able to work, yes.
Okay. And how many total did we have?
Roughly 50 right now. Yeah,
50.
50.
Any specific language concentrations or?
No, not really. To be honest with you, it was very spread out, and I apologize for the spacing of this. I don't know why my K and Korean got mixed up there. We have a wide variety there. So 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So really no more than, I don't think there was any more than 5 to 7 in one particular language. So we even have one student doing, I think they were doubled up on Ukrainian and Italian. I believe it was either they chose double one.
Do they not offer French or just no interest? Or?
They do. There was just no interest.
Okay.
I know some of them also, some of the students, because of what goes on at home, I believe that was the choice of the Arabic for one of our students to enhance some of the learning for their personal family at home. So that certainly was where that came from.
Okay. Thank you. All right, is that it? No?
I think it's off to a nice start. I think it's something to grow. I think conversational language is important. I think that's a great story about the Arabic language piece there, enhancing something at home. So very positive. Again, kudos to the board for sponsoring these things. Kudos to the guys in the middle school making it happen.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I would like to bring you guys some informational pieces that we're going to want to take on in the next couple of meetings. So we have a heavy one, in my opinion, and I'm very interested in this and have been most of my educational life, and it's concept of mastery learning. And mastery learning, really simply, to just give you a simple paraphrase, and we'll get into deep dives if the board is interested in hearing more. But really what we're saying is, it's students submitting their work and allowing them to get feedback from the teacher, make revisions, resubmit again, and until they continue to grow their knowledge base of learning. Give assessments on projects, on papers, etc. So there are other districts that do this, and I'm more than happy. We most know the Wilson School District has done it with a lot of success. I think our goal for our students ought to be that they learn, not that they know how to just pass a test. And so having that opportunity, I think, is very valuable. I think it's interesting given this time, where we've spoken in the pandemic, where people are looking for grace and understanding. I don't know that hardline testing and zeros and homework punitive nature, that can be sometimes as really as understanding as it ought to be. So this is something I would like our curriculum committee as a team here to discuss more if you're interested. I will start to put together that presentation for you to really give you the depth of understanding to make a decision. If you know that you don't want it, you want it to be just as is, take it.
Be interested in hearing more. I don't know about others. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, very good. I'll take care of it. Next meeting, we'll have some information for you, maybe a presentation of a couple slides. The final point on the agenda tonight is Blazer Teacher Institute, and Alex is here with me. One of the things when we look at our staff, our teachers, is the question we ask is how do we align their graduate, postgraduate work to support the mission of the school? I mean, this is something that the taxpayers and the school board pays for those courses. And right now, teachers take high interest in effective opportunities. And what we're looking for is how can we make it a more linear, mission-oriented, make our dollars work for us in a more linear, mission-oriented way in terms of sponsoring teacher professional learning and college credits and so forth. So we've talked with a couple of groups from the South College is one, Region Training Center, there's a handful of folks out there. And then meeting with Dr. Cooper and others on our team, we had discussions about which pieces would we like, so we can essentially craft our own specializations. We can craft one in instructional practice, we can do one in special education teachers, we can do one in delivering technology instruction. And the teachers are always based just on the contract, they're always going to have the freedom to make a choice going forward. So that's a partnership piece that Mrs. Elmer and I are working on right now. We're also Mrs. Mikowski involved in looking at that piece. And we'd love to bring that presentation to you here next month as well. We can have the gentleman who we're partnering with at Regional Training Center and the South College, I guess it's South University now, but come in and speak to it. Would you be interested in that?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Sure. Yep. That's all I have for you to say.
Okay. So then I guess on to standing items. Nothing on the standing items then?
They're there for you if you have questions for
okay.
me. Feel free.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Knight? No? Any new business? I think we're adjourned then. That concludes the CNI meeting.